Bam! Hello, one and all. Welcome to the Keyard podcast with yours truly, KB, and my good friend Rob Verriard. How you doing, Rob? And how are everybody else doing?
I am suffering today. I was in the VC of the Mosh Talks Discord all night last night, drinking Jim Beam Red Stag, which is very, very drinkable indeed. Far too drinkable. I have about a quarter of the bottle left.
I don't just recommend it for stag do's. I just recommend it for every occasion. But make sure that you do savor it a bit so that you can keep it special. I think is the best.
I mean, that's not our sponsor today.
No,
honestly.
our sponsor is, if you want to become a footballer and retain an impressive physique that people gaze in at awe, purchase Bale Got Back. Today. Be a birdie. Be a birdie, get a hole in one. I was going to say every hole's a goal, but I thought that was kind of cutting the stretch.
Yeah, don't say that.
So in today's news, there's a good reason that I'm wearing this almighty shirt is because we've got a match on later with you English bastards. No. I'm actually part Welsh, part English, so I always feel like I'm on the fence. But I was born in Wales.
Oh, you really?
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
There we go. Plot twist for episode 28. I am part English.
So this command then is redundant.
Wow.
It should be.
It is true. It is factual, though. Oh,
Yeah.
The
command I'm referring to is in our Twitch chat. I've done !Welsh, and it comes up with yes, KB is Welsh.
And Key
But it turns out you're not fully Welsh.
And so. Key Butler does the honours, so I'm happy for him. He's really taken up his job really well. In other news as well, because we were going to plug another stream, but I want to just congratulate the new mod. I know I'm glad she's agreed to help out and stuff, but I think she's done some great support for the channel and for the Discord. So I want to welcome Rosie Droid as the new mod of the KB channel. So congratulations out there. She's
nice one, Lauren.
She's currently not here at the moment because she is doing a 12-hour stream. So we are going to raid her after this.
Yes, for charity. I have the charity here. It's Special Effect. They're a UK-based charity. They use video games and technology to enhance the quality of life of people with disabilities. So essentially, how it works is the money goes towards like building specialized gaming seats for optimal performance for disabled gamers, which I think is really, really cool. And we'll put a link in the chat, I think, for it as well if you do want to do wish to donate. She is currently on £230, I think, last time I saw.
Wow,
which is
okay.
Absolutely amazing.
We were just saying a few minutes ago that she was on 200.
Within the first hour and a half, she raised that amount of money, which is incredible.
That's why I'd like to do at some point. I'd like to do some sort of charity-based stream. Like I tried to do one for Diego Maradona, but it didn't go down very well because it wasn't as popular as I hoped it would be.
You hoped it would be, yeah. That's always the Hopefully now that you've got a bit, bigger audience, I guess.
Yeah, and it was a bit spur of the moment as well, so it wasn't something that was highly anticipated.
Yeah, I'm tempted to do one as well. Maybe like, I don't know, playing guitar for 12 hours or something, which will drive my family insane.
Well, that pretty much goes into the next sort of news. A bit of a plug is that I did mention on Beezer stream last night that I am gonna take the plunge and finally do music on this channel. And I'm going to be starting with next Friday's stream with, well, you can see the logo there. Probably not the most favoured logo by the band, but I'm going to be doing the whole Poison album by Bullet for My Valentine.
Awesome.
I've done covers from that album and from the band before. And I've done a lot of practice with trying to do the album as a full, and it's gotten to a point now where I feel comfortable with being able to do it in a full stream. So we'll see how it goes, and I think the hardest part the past few days has been trying to get the mixing right on my vocals for streaming, because it's a different ball game.
Well, yeah, streaming with from DAWs certainly is not an easy thing. I tried that before, and it's just...
Yeah, And the thing is, like, the one thing I do worry about is if the music is going to sync up well. At the moment, it does, but that slight fear of suddenly...
Yeah, being even if it's like a millisecond out, it will sound weird, right?
Yeah, exactly. And it makes you sound a bit like a bad singer. But, you know, the Twitch community is very supportive.
Exactly. You won't know unless you try it, man.
Exactly.
So
and that's what you got to do. You just got to say, screw it and just do it, you know?
Take the plunge, yeah.
Exactly.
I wish you all the best with that, man. I'll see if I can tune in.
Yeah, same time.
You also, apparently, you had a Chinese last night.
Yes, I did. Let me just show you what I had.
I seem to recall, I think I actually saw this. You posted it in the Discord, and I might have drunkenly gone, oh, what's up?
No, basically, it was... I wish somebody clipped it, because I said I had salt and pepper chicken chow mein, chicken balls, rice, curry sauce, barbecue sauce, what's that? Nutty sauce. I can't remember. Not satay sauce. And Bees was just like, so you've had chicken and chicken and chicken. And then I just responded to the chat with, yeah, it's not enough chicken, to be honest. And to be honest, I wasn't even drunk. I was just like, I was in a fuck it mood.
Chicken. I love it. Were you actually on Bees' stream? Like, was he interviewing?
No, I just popped into the chat and just mentioned that I just had my Chinese, and he was like, "How was it? How was it, Benji?"
Yeah, he's
the only person who calls me Benji.
That's hilarious. I'm gonna have to track back and see where it is. But,
yeah, be sure to clip it if it's not muted, which it probably is. But.
You know, I'm actually trying to compile a bunch of clips for a compilation of Mosh Talks.
Yeah,
like a funny kind of clip compilation of some of the best moments we've had over last year. And I'm probably going to, I don't know, maybe for his birthday or maybe for the anniversary of when he started streaming. You know, put it out there.
Yeah,
that's obviously that's not. Bees doesn't know about that. Obviously, I want to keep it on the down low. But
why are you telling us on the podcast?
I know, but he doesn't watch this shit. Let's be honest.
Fair dues.
He doesn't watch this. It's been so long since I've had a Chinese, mate. I tend to go for Indian.
Yeah,
usually.
I mean, it's like I like to do a bit of mix and matching. Like even last week we had a burrito bowl, so you know that's something a bit different. But Las Iguanas is closed down near us, so unfortunately, so we don't can't order from there. I think so. I think they went a bit under.
We have the thing is, right, we have like one Chinese restaurant and we have like about 50 Indians in my town. You know, so really you're spoilt for choice of Indian, but really not so much with your Chinese food.
Yeah, I noticed yesterday when he delivered the food to me at my door, he gave me his menu and said, if you order on the site rather than Just Eat, you get 20% off. It does seem like because Just Eat is taking money, arguably unfair money, away from these restaurants in order to promote their restaurants, they're actually giving more of a deal on their own website, so that most of the money goes to them anyway. So that's worth it as well. But I recommend Yang's. That's the name of the Chinese restaurant. They got one in Cardiff and one in Barry. So if you ever come down to Cardiff, I cannot recommend Yang's anymore. And
nice.
for vegans out there, they've got a whole range of vegan selections, even like vegan chicken and things. So, you know, they do have a lot to offer.
Yeah, it's interesting. We have this place called Best Kebab, which is kind of a legendary sort of late night drunk kind of hotspot, if you like. Right, it used to be right outside the train station, but now they've moved it into like to make it its own kind of separate leasing space within this building. Yeah, and like they've really gentrified, you know, and upgraded their menu and stuff, and it's weird to see, you know. But it's good that companies like that are making the most out of this situation we find ourselves in, I guess, you know. So Chinese and Indian food is awesome, I guess. Is the is the thing we can take away from that.
I remember when I used to deliver for Chinese. Like I delivered like for an Indian, for Chinese.
Did you? You were a delivery driver.
Yeah, back in Bridgend.
I didn't know that. That's awesome.
Yeah.
So hang on. So you're not even Welsh, right? And you were a delivery driver. I still don't know these loads of these things about KB. It turns out.
I'll have to do like a YouTube video of like 10 facts about KB.
Yeah,
it'll rake in 1 million views in 2 hours.
You should put it on BuzzFeed or something, mate.
10 facts
you
about
can't believe these facts about KB.
Number 8 will shock you.
Yeah, Mike Dog. Yeah, KB is actually a Russian spy. You're right.
What? No, that is a lie.
Oh God. Does it live up to the name, Murray Man? Was that about best kebab? It's been a while since I've had one, you know. But yeah, as far as I'm concerned, it's all right.
Yeah. Also, good Saturday to you all, KB Rob Gang. That is exactly the kind of emotions that we love to project forward. So, welcome to the family.
Yeah. Good to see you in here, David. Yeah, we're rabbiting on about nothing really. Let's get into some.
It's a nice discussion. The last thing, sorry, I just want to congratulate Gregcellent as well for making affiliate as well. He
yes, definitely.
And I said to him on Twitter, "Welcome to the Cut family." So there we go. Yeah, just a quick one there. So congratulations, Greg.
Yeah,
top bloke, top banana, top guy.
Welcome to the what?
The cult. I mean, family.
Oh, I see. I got you. Not a cult.
Yeah. Jordan's also asked, "What's the best name you've?"
Not a cult.
Who can you look at more, me or Rob, with this one eye in the screen? What's the best name you've ever seen for a takeaway place? We have a chippy near us called Frying Nemo.
Oh no!
How can you get any better than that?
That's awful. That's awful.
I mean, What You Like is just wonderful in itself because you just get so many What You Likes.
We never really have many kind of joking. Although I think there was one that Bill Bailey did in his stand-up.
Yeah,
which I can remember because it's so good. It was called "Halal Is It Meat You're Looking For?" I can't claim any credit for it, so it's entirely Bill Bailey. But I thought that was genius.
Oh, bloody hell, that's brilliant. No, I like Mr. Donor is one near me. I don't know, Star Pizza. That's not really that funny, is it? Frying Nemo. Oh,
took me this long to get the gravity of Frying Nemo. Yeah, it's subtle.
See, I see Yang's, and I always misread it.
It's got a subtly dark subtext. You know, that's what I quite like about that name.
See, I always see Yang's, and I misread it as Wangs, so it's a bit different, isn't it? Walk and roll, yes.
There's probably some burger stands at Download that we've gone past with weird name.
Well, the one in my video where it was like burger.s.
.s. Yeah. We'll
burger.
Well, on the subject of festivals, I actually I did order my Bloodstock ticket last night whilst I was really drunk. We're going to probably talk about that next week, just because there's probably a lot to cover with the lineup and everything. But yeah, as far as I know, I'm going to Bloodstock if it's still happening.
Nice. That's much better than mine.
And hopefully going to meet a bunch of members of the Mosh Squad and the KB community. So that'll be cool.
Not the Kinky Bandits. What else can I say?
What's your lot called?
The Key IPs. Let's
Key IPs. That's it. That's genius. On the subject of puns.
Yeah.
Punny names.
So there's that. I was going to say.
Hang on. Let's try and work this one out. Mike Doc says there's an ice cream shop in Airdrie called Coney No Day That.
Coney No Day That.
Coney No Day That.
Konnichiwa.
No Day That.
Konnichiwa.
I think I get that. It's a bit lost in translation. I don't know. Can you not do that?
Can you not do that? Oh, right. Airdrie, is that Scottish? Is that a Scottish place?
Yeah, of course it's Scotland.
Well, I don't know. I need to check these things. Otherwise, I misread facts. It's live, pal.
We're live, pal.
Exactly. Otherwise, I will be in the YouTube compilation. I'll be made to look a fool on Twitter.
Yeah, I think that ship has sailed, mate, to be fair. But, yeah. So, yeah.
I'm just going to go cry in a corner.
Was there anything else you did this week? I'm glad that Kate seems to be on the mend.
Yeah, absolutely. I was gonna say that you buying that ticket is better than my nan soberly by accidentally buying 6 Barbara Streisand tickets on Groupon because she couldn't see that well.
Oh,
And it's hard to get a refund on Groupon, see? So
yeah,
that
yeah, yeah. Well, I specifically did refund protection on this ticket, just in case. Obviously,
yeah.
worst comes to worst. Apparently, there's going to be an announcement about download on Monday, and it's probably going to be pushed back, isn't it? I don't know whether they're going to.
Yeah, it's either going to be pushed back or because it's a strenuous festival spanning over 3 days, they might push it to next year because trying to book everyone is going to be a nightmare.
Yeah, that's the problem, isn't it? It's
Whereas Slam Dunk is 1 day, which it's also going to September.
Yeah, I've got my eye on Slam Dunk actually as well.
Yeah, I've still got my ticket. I see what happened was I accidentally deleted all my emails.
Which one are you doing, Leeds or Hatfield?
Hatfield.
Yeah, Hatfield makes sense.
So let's form a meetup in Hatfield with the lot.
We'll see. I mean, trees. I've got my eye on as well because my boys obviously are playing there.
Yeah, like I've got to keep in mind as well that it was Katie's birthday present, so I have to. I'm gonna be with her a lot of the time.
Yeah, you're not really a pop punk guy, really, are you?
It depends. If Sum 41 counts, then hell yeah. If it's All Time Low, then boo.
Billy Talent are headlining.
Billy Talent, yes. I can do Billy Talent.
Yeah, I like Billy Talent.
There's actual talent there.
Yeah, it's a sensational bit of bravado that you would name yourselves Billy Talent and be actually good.
I know, it's like
a gambit that definitely paid off, I think.
It's like going into Dragon's Den and pitching it and then them saying I'm out, and I was like, oh well, I'll prove you wrong, or maybe X Factor. Simon Cowell, don't know my ass.
Yeah. Dragon's Den, man.
Yeah. So is this a good time to go on to the title of the podcast?
Yeah. One thing, I'll just quickly sum up my week, I guess, as well. Then, so yeah, like I said, last night got very, very drunk. I've been banished to the garage now for post 10:30 banter with people on Zoom.
I mean, at least
apparently I'm too loud, so the best place for me is the garage. And my dad has made like a kind of foam type foot warmer deal that I stick my feet in when it gets too cold, and my old mattress, and it's a lot of fun. It's actually quite good. I don't know why I didn't think of doing that earlier.
If I did that at my parents' house, I probably
the connection's actually all right in there as well, which I was quite pleased about.
I'd probably be sent to a skip if I did that at my parents' house.
I was drinking a lot of Jim Beam Red Stag last night, which is beautiful. Thanks to Elliot Lever for the recommendation for that.
Jim Beam is what my cousin loves, and I'll have to showcase some of my cousin's work on the podcast at some point because he's a fantastic, very underrated guitarist.
Yeah. The other thing I did last night was I watched Llamageddon on Sarah Sang's channel, which is a movie about a killer llama, and it's so bad I don't even know where to start. Like it's basically they deliberately mess with the continuity. Like there is a guy, one of the protagonists deliberately has a shirt change in every single scene.
Oh, wow. I was just thinking then that the llama ties someone up, and then when they're like, let me go, he's like, hey, no struggly.
I mean, might as well, Like there's a scene where there's several scenes actually of llamas like hoofing people to death. It's actually quite funny, but because it's so ridiculously bad, And there's also like an entire scene of it's a bit Black Sheep like, they copped a lot of things from Black Sheep, I feel, in the whole there's also a guy who slowly turns into a llama. And there's an entire scene of him laying fucking llama eggs in a barn. Llamas don't even lay eggs, It's ridiculous.
The only two mammals, and this is a fun fact for people who don't know, the only two mammals that lay eggs are platypus and echidnas.
Oh, echidnas. What are echidnas again?
Spawn of Satan, I think. No, they're like very weird disfigured hedgehogs. Like you think of Knuckles and the Echidna from Sonic and what he's based on, and you just couldn't put the two together.
Yeah, Murray, man, that Emperor's New Groove sequel took a turn.
Yeah, that's what I was referring to. No struggling. Yeah,
I love it.
Joke's not as effective.
I haven't seen that movie in so long, actually.
I was watching it with Katie the other day. It's
Disney, right? Emperor's New Groove.
It's brilliant. I just love the scene when Kronk is doing that stealth move to dispose of
Patrick Warburton. Hey, Peter.
Hey, Peter.
Hey, Peter. Yeah. I really should probably make more use of Disney Plus. Actually, I haven't really had to go to. I was waiting for Tailspin. Do you remember Tailspin?
Rings a bell, but I haven't.
It's basically the characters of the Jungle Book, but it's like about them being like air pirates. It's really, really cool series. If you like DuckTales and shit like that, it's probably be up your street.
Yeah, currently, what I'm making use of Apple TV for Servant, which stars Rupert Grint as one of the main leads, and it's an M. Night Shyamalan flick. But my God, is it so psychological? It messes my brain up.
M. Night Shyamalan is an interesting one with him because he's very hit and miss as a director.
Yeah,
he's
I
had
know what you mean.
For every Sixth Sense, which is brilliant, still his best film in my opinion, Sixth Sense, and every Split.
Yeah,
you have The
Village.
You have Signs, The Village. I mean, I don't know what the deal is with Signs, really. I just think the whole is so stupid, that film.
Oh, you mean we're weak against water, yet we went to Earth.
We went to a planet that's 90% water.
Yeah.
And
we didn't study this well. It's like the War of the
Worlds
twist.
Happening. My God, The Happening. That's
fuck. Yeah.
Oh my God.
I know what you mean. But yeah, I mean, when he has time to flesh out as a director, as the example of this is, yeah, he's in his element. Hey, Beer Jesus, how's it going?
I mean, who's your favorite director? Should we get into this?
I couldn't really tell you off the top of my head, to be honest. I like Ridley Scott. I love his the overtones he has.
So like Blade Runner and shit like that. I've still never seen Blade Runner.
Christopher Nolan used to be, but I think there's only so far you can go with these mind screw ups and things.
No, he's up there for me.
He's really good. He's really good storyteller, and
I love Memento. I love The Prestige, Inception. They're all class films, Yeah.
What's the name of the director from 1917 as well?
Oh, Sam Mendes.
Yeah,
he's really good. Yeah,
Scorsese as well. I like Martin Scorsese.
Sam Mendes is he directed American Beauty. He directed Skyfall, I want to say. Bond film. Yeah,
and there's a reason that is one of the best James Bond films.
Oh yeah, it's brilliant. Skyfall,
fantastic.
For me, I mean, Tarantino's always probably going to be number one for me. I think just he is one of the last remaining proper auteurs, of the business, and it's such a shame that he's got one more film left before he calls it quits. I'm hoping it's going to be because I really loved Once Upon a Time in Hollywood as well. I thought I don't think it was his best film, but I'm just super entertained by everything he does,
Yeah, I just have Inglourious Basterds sitting on Amazon Prime all the time, and I just need to find the time to watch it.
We got Beer Jesus saying Kubrick or Argento. Nice, good shouts. I do like a bit of Kubrick. Full Metal Jacket is just a classic,
Yeah, Spielberg's an interesting one because when it comes to fantasy and making things look as fantastic on screen, he does wonders with that. Even in like War of the Worlds, it just sends shivers when you see for the first time they kill someone in that film. So when it comes to playing the big screen, and he also saved George Lucas from the third Indiana Jones film as well from being awful.
It's weird, isn't it? Spielberg, he's got this reputation now of being a kind of he can make great movies for all ages and sort of thing. He's got some really dark movies, and like Poltergeist, you know, he wrote, was it, or did the screenplay for?
Yeah,
he didn't. I don't think he directed it, but he had a bit of a hand in that.
Yeah,
Jaws, yeah, Saving Private Ryan. Saving Private Ryan is one of my favorite films ever. It's just brilliant. It's so much more than the opening sequence as well. I think, you know, everyone goes on about the opening sequence being the best part of the film, which it is, you know.
Yeah.
But they seem to just ignore the rest of the films and like how captivating the performances are from the leads, you know.
Yeah. Who else? Peter Jackson's another good one. He likes to flash out his movies pretty well. I think like the Hobbit.
I went to the world premiere of Mortal Engines.
Did you?
Yeah, which Peter Jackson didn't direct, but he was like executive producer, or he had a hand in it or something. And he was there, like taking a Q&A from I think it was what's his name? The guy that always does covers the premieres. Alex Zane. Alex
Zane. I thought he was gonna like.
Yeah, he was there. Also, Hugo Weaving was there, like right in front of us. Like we basically they had a cast and crew screening in like one part of the cinema, and then the other half of the cinema was us, like with our free comps and stuff for working on the film. Because I work in film trailers, and we get free comps sometimes, which is really cool.
Yeah,
got to go to the premiere. Saying the movie was a bit average, you know, but I do like a bit of Peter Jackson. Lord of the Rings. I mean, how can you go wrong? I actually really liked his King Kong remake as well. Not many people gave that movie the time of day, but
no, I love that. Like, let's not talk about the scene with the bugs, but besides from that, yeah, it sends you on. Like,
are you a bit arachnophobic or whatever?
No, it's not the arachnophobia. It's those fucking worm things that creep me out.
Oh yeah, well, but again, Weta, like, love that post-production house, you know, and all their creature effects and stuff. Brilliant. Rick Baker, you know, I could go to town on, like, you know, SFX and stuff.
Yeah,
you know, people. Sam Raimi, yeah, love a bit of Sam Raimi. Evil Dead 2. Army of Darkness.
Yeah,
the original Spider-Man trilogy, you know.
Aliens is probably one of my favorites from
I've
James
actually
Cameron
still never seen Spider-Man 3, but, you know, from the way everyone goes on about it, I don't know if I'll bother.
The problem was, I don't think that was Sam Raimi's fault, because the studio was wanting Venom in the movie, and Sam was saying, I don't know much about Venom, I can't relate to him, so I can't really put him on screen, so we had to find some way of putting him on there, because it was just supposed to be about Sandman. And then that's what led to like the cancellation of the fourth film and his disbandment from the company, from Sony.
Robert Rodriguez, that's an interesting shout, David. I haven't seen many of his movies. You know, I know he did. Didn't he do Spy Kids?
That's
Spy
where
Kids
I remember that name from. Did he do?
Yeah, and he also did From Dusk Till Dawn, of course, which is great. And obviously Tarantino had a hand in that as well. Him and the Planet Terror / Death Proof double feature. Again, it's the homages and the kind of nods to classic exploitation. Yeah, that I love sometimes with Tarantino. You know, the Coen brothers, I think, is the other one that the other directing duo that I really love. They have such great movies under their belt: Fargo, Big Lebowski, Miller's Crossing, A Serious Man. What's the other one I'm forgetting? Oh Brother, Where Art Thou? Just brilliant.
I would say as well, like even ones like OGs like Alfred Hitchcock, and you know, I think like still to this day, I feel like Rope is an absolute masterpiece. Just because.
Wow, I've never seen Rope. I know that it's all one shot, right? Like
all
1917.
one shot. Yeah, but it's like 1917 has clever cuts, whereas Rope, I think, is just.
Actually all one shot.
Yeah,
that's quite impressive. I'm surprised we never watched that, because we did dabble in a bit of Hitchcock at uni. We had a whole module on him, where we covered. We did Vertigo as one of our exams.
Yeah.
And we watched North by Northwest, Psycho. You know, all those. I mean, he really was quite ahead of his time, Alfred Hitchcock.
Yeah, Russo
sure.
brothers. I love how Russo brothers put a great end onto the later Avenger films. They just the way I think that's probably one of my favorite shots in movie history is that scene when they're all coming out of the portals in Endgame. It's just so many goosebumps.
Oh, dude, David, Burn After Reading. That is a brilliant film.
Yeah,
That's so underrated, and yes, I think it's one of the Coen brothers' best, personally. Also, Shane Black might be an outside shot. I really like Kiss Kiss Bang Bang. Quite liked Iron Man 3 as well.
Do you know what?
He hasn't done many films, you know, but his screenplays are brilliant.
Do you know actually one we haven't mentioned yet? Edgar Wright.
And yes,
and it's not just because of the Cornetto trilogy, like Baby Driver, Scott Pilgrim.
Still not seen Baby Driver. It's on my list.
It's fantastic. I love it so much. Like it's just the way that his pacing is really what gets it for me. Like how and the like in Scott Pilgrim and stuff, how he added something extra to it with the editing and things. It just brings it all together. Fantastic.
Yeah, I mean, we could go on and on and on about directors and stuff like that. You know, who else is up there for me? Like, I think we've pretty much covered all the bases. I think that really. Nice cup, by the way.
You're welcome.
Great.
Thank you for showing me your cup.
Oh, James Cameron.
That's what I'm saying about Aliens. Yeah.
Well, the thing is about James Cameron, he's got some good movies, but then again, he's directed some of my most hated movies,
like Avatar,
Titanic. I just can't stand those films. But for every one of those, there's a Terminator 2, there's an Aliens. You know,
raising the bar.
Yeah, he's definitely kind of hit and miss. You know.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
You know what, Murray man? World's End is people kind of give that movie stick because it's not as good as like Hot Fuzz or Shaun the Dead, but I enjoyed World's End. I think it's definitely the darkest of the Cornetto trilogy, in my opinion.
Yeah, because I think the story is based around this guy who doesn't really want to grow up.
And exactly. It tapped into something when I watched it.
And it's nice because in the films, normally Nick Frost's character is supposed to be like the stooge character or the dumb one, whereas it turns the tables and Nick Frost's actually a smart character in this.
Yeah,
and so I love that change of pace.
He's one of the level-headed ones. Really, it's quite depressing. Really, it really elicited a emotional response from me when I was watching that. As it was very funny as well, but also quite depressing, the subject matter. But he does that balance beautifully in that film. I think
as well, maybe what people didn't like as much about World's End compared to the other two was that it kind of was a bit more slapstick in its humor compared to the other two. Like it was a lot of the other two were more like sort of putting in situations that add up together, like callbacks and things like that.
I mean, Hot Fuzz is just a sensational.
It's film. Brilliant.
That's probably my favorite comedy film. If push comes to shove, it's so quotable. Remember, we were. I don't know if you were in the tent with me, KB, but in the cinema tent at Download, they showed that film.
Fuck off, grasshopper.
Yeah, and just everybody was quoting lines along to it. It was. And it still holds up. Like I never get tired of watching it. Every time I watch it, it's brilliant.
Yeah.
J.J. Abrams, Murray, man, that's an interesting shout.
Yeah,
there are a lot of people. J.J. Abrams ruined the Star Wars new trilogy. I can't really comment, but
it's that stereotype of the lens flare, isn't it? And you've seen like loads of movies, and if on YouTube, loads of trailers, and if it was directed by J.J. Abrams, and they just add a lens flare effect. Imagine the Great Train Robbery with a lens flare.
Yeah, it's we could go on and on about directors. I think we're just putting off the inevitable, which is shall we talk about the new Architects record?
Yeah. Initial thoughts, Rob, first off.
Okay.
Well, before you get into that, you can sum up your thoughts, but basically, I just want to get up. Oh, sorry, bear with me. Actually, no, bring
You
your
don't
thoughts
want to
up.
get out that.
Actually, no, bring
You
your
don't
thoughts
want to
up.
get out that.
Yeah. What are your initial thoughts?
I this was an objective listen for me, right? Because I don't know much about Architects. I have listened to like a couple of songs from was it Daybreaker?
Yeah.
So like Alpha Omega and stuff like that. I really just feel it's a bit of a meandering kind of by the numbers rock album, you know, and it's and you know, objectively speaking, you know, and I have full respect for the band and what they've achieved, you know, and all that stuff. I thought it was just average, personally.
Yeah.
And there's a great run in the middle of like 3 good songs, you know, one after it. So there's like Animals and Goliath, and what was the other one? The one in between all
Libertine?
those. Yeah, that's it. Libertine, yeah. That run of 3 songs is the best part of the album for me.
I know what you mean.
The fact that like I enjoyed a song with Simon Neil and Mike Kurt on.
That was the most surprising thing for me.
More than the Winston McCall track, which I thought was just so average.
Yeah, I know a lot. Like, I respect people's opinions on it, saying like, "Oh, Impermanence is a banger," but like, I feel the same as you. It feels very run of the mill. Like, I think,
and you're you're big into Architects, aren't you?
Yeah,
No, so if anyone's going to be the authority on whether this album is good or not, it's going to be you. So I was interested to hear your thoughts on it, really.
Well, the thing is, I've just come from yesterday revealing the Pokemon Direct thing, and I'll explain how that ties into this in a sec. But there was a lot of disappointment from it, but a lot of mixed opinions, and then a lot of people saying off the back of that, you're not true fans if you complain about it, and it kind of
similar thing.
It's a similar thing with this because, like, being a true fan to me is being honest about what you like and don't like. You can't have you can't say like, oh, every song is my favorite unless you truly feel that way. Like, I don't have every Slipknot song on my saved on my Spotify
because you're lying to yourself. You know,
you're lying to yourself.
You are kind of you're permeating this thing of like it's Architects, therefore, you know, everything they do is quality, and it's a lie that you kind of have. It's a lie with a lot of bands, like the Foo Fighters record. I just thought was really average, and I love Foo Fighters.
Yeah,
right? I love them. They're one of my favorite bands, but I could not with any good conscience. Green Day, as well, with Father of All and their most recent musical output. You know, I can't tell myself that it's a good record.
Yeah,
because it'd be dishonest. You know?
I just don't see the point in someone trying to force themselves to like something or see something that somebody else already sees. When, you know, a lot of the times when I listen to an album that I've put in my album of the year list, has just hit me there on, and sometimes maybe I'm like, oh, I like this, and I'll listen to it later on, and I think, actually, yeah, compared to the other albums, this is really good. But I don't feel like this is the case for me because, like, for one, okay, let's start from the singles. So we had Animals. Now, Animals was a good. I thought it was a good change of pace.
I think that's one of the best tracks on the album.
Yeah, I thought it was a good change of pace.
It's a good kind of pulsating, kind of thumping, you know, rhythm.
Yeah,
it's got a brilliant chorus hook. You know,
it feels very.
It's going to go off live. I can already tell, you know. And
then we get to Black Lungs. I can't say I didn't like the song because I covered it. I like the song. Whether I think it holds up to like previous stuff, I don't think so. I think in terms of transitions from previous albums, I think the previous albums did have more of a positive over it. I think Black Lungs, it's got some nice transitions and stuff, but I think I do have a bit of an issue with like one riff being too present and not much variety being kicked up in it. I think that's how I kind of feel like it's got this sort of rhythm, and it tries to be a bit more technical on the album, but then when it gets to that peak, it kind of, I don't know, at some point it kind of drops back down again. But it's a fun song to sing. And then we get to Dead Butterflies, and now I would say Dead Butterflies is one of my favorites on the album because of how emotional it is.
All right.
It's got a strong.
It's all right, man. You know, I like the kind of grandiosity of it and everything. And it was when Bees pointed out, he played it, and then he was like on New Music Saturday, and then he proceeded to play Constance by Spirit Box, and you're thinking, this is it has that kind of sort of spacious kind of ambient element to it, which an atmospheric element, but it doesn't have like a kind of
punch to it. I mean, the thing is, the live performance of it, I feel, had such a much better mix than what the album had.
Yeah, because you watched the live.
Yeah, I watched the Royal Albert Hall one, and I feel like there was too much like chorus and delay and all those kinds of effects with Sam's voice.
I'm a sucker for that stuff.
But I feel like when it comes to like chorus effects and delay and layering, that needs to happen more when the music gets heavier. If it's just and this is from like a sound technician sort of experience, not properly, but when the music is lighter, you want to kind of have more isolated vocals, so it doesn't ruin the ambience of the music around you. It kind of keeps you in, but then you expand when the music expands as well. And I feel like that is the issue that I have with the studio version of that song.
The production was one of the factors, I think, that prevented me from rating it. So I mean, it's a kind of, if you're gonna branch out with your sound, don't be like half-assed with it and generic.
It felt, what's the word? It felt too.
It felt mandatory.
Flat.
You know what I mean? It felt like it was an album that had to be made, rather than an album that kind of they wanted to make, if that makes sense. I could be wrong with that. I could be off the mark.
I read the source somewhere that it was a kind of album that Tom wanted to make, so I guess maybe they wanted to honor that. That's
great. If that's the way to honor him, then good on them, sort of thing.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, I hear like the sound production from albums like Lost Forever and All Our Gods and even Holy Hell, and I feel like there is more of a raw presence there. It's good mixing, but I feel like it's important to keep a sort of raw presence in it, so it doesn't feel too overproduced, and I feel like that there is a bit of that in the album.
I feel like a lot of it's quite personal. I think Dying is absolutely safe. I think is quite. That's all right as well.
Yeah, this is where I will give props to the album, because I think as a lyricist, and I don't know if it's Sam mainly that writes the lyrics, but there is some strong themes there lyrically.
No, it's actually Dan.
Dan, okay.
That writes lyrics. So
right.
It says all lyrics are written by Dan Searle, all music composed by Architects.
Okay. So. Lyrically wise, I think the album is top notch for that, because there's so many underlying themes in it, like the idea of pollution in Black Lungs, and I think what we got, Discourse is Dead, or Dead Butterflies, about trying to like regain yourself, isn't it? That kind of stuff, and it's quite difficult. Like sometimes I feel like Corey Taylor is one of the best lyricists in metal, but sometimes I do feel like he can go a bit too above and beyond with his metaphors sometimes, and I'm like, what are you even saying? But
Chino Moreno from Deftones, one of my favorite bands. You have no idea what the hell he's singing about half the time, because some of his lyrics are uber metaphorical. You know?
And it's just like, then we got which I think was probably the worst mistake from the album, was releasing Meteor as a single, because
that is such an average song to me. It doesn't offer anything to me, really.
I think, because there was so much skepticism from the album, that made people even more skeptical before getting it.
I was intrigued, right? I was intrigued rather than skeptical. And like I said, I don't know. I'm really quite unfamiliar with all their previous efforts. I basically have heard Alpha Omega regularly, and that's it. What I did listen to last year was the Silosis record, which ended up being one of my favorite albums of last year. Not sure where Josh Middleton's guitar work was, really.
That's what I also heard, was that
there wasn't any guitar hooks on this record for me that I could really sink my teeth into.
Yeah, what I heard was Josh did submit riffs to them, and they wanted to go.
They didn't fit the vibe. That's understandable.
Of the album. Yeah, so I think that was the thing there. But I do have strong hopes for where the songs go live, because I feel like there's going to be a lot more, like like An Ordinary Extinction. That that synth that goes off in the background in the song. Imagine if that's played on guitar. That would be so sweet.
Yeah,
that's what I think.
Roddy's raised a good point in the chat, which was I also think the album could have been a few tracks shorter. There's a lot going on. Yeah, it's an hour-long album of tracks which intrinsically sound very similar to each other.
Yeah, I don't think Meteor really needs a place on there. So let me run down the songs, and I can give from
go for it.
So what we got first is because I get mixed up by Dying Is Absolutely Safe and Death or something like that.
So Do You Dream of Armageddon?
That's the one. Do You Dream of Armageddon? So I think that builds up to Black Lungs really well. I think it's for an intro song, which isn't something that Architects usually do, it offers something different, and I can credit them for that. Black Lungs is your typical just like get down and dirty sort of song. I feel like in terms of where they're trying to go with like a transition or something like that, it could go in a certain transition, but then it goes softer again, and I think that is a common theme with the album. Then Giving Blood is very much a radio song that you do expect, you do hear on the album, and it kind of like takes away that drive that Black Lungs had and brings it down. Then you've got Discourse is Dead is the next one, is it?
Yeah, Discourse
is Dead. Probably one of my favourites on the album, and from what I also heard, this was one that Tom wrote before Holy Hell, so you can see that it's why it's one of the heaviest songs in the album. It doesn't have a lot to offer in terms of technical riffage, in general, but more than the album tends to put forward.
This album is missing riffs for me. Like I said, there really wasn't many riffs that I could sink my teeth into on here.
Yeah, like I've seen when I saw them playing it at Royal Albert Hall, that that was something that Josh was playing live there, but I feel like there was sort of like that sort of breakdown bit that it could have gone into something a bit heavier, but then it goes into this sort of this choir section. I feel like there could have been something before it goes into that, just to kind of bring it back on point. But overall, I think like the verses and stuff are just like they still retain that heaviness. So I can't fault it too much. So that's a bit of like a 7.58 out of 10 track for me. Then we've got Dead Butterflies. I've already made my points about that.
Yeah, you made your point about that.
Impermanence is the next one.
No, An Ordinary Extinction is the next one.
Yeah, again, one of my favourite tracks. It brings back that sort of high intensity in the choruses that you hear from Sam previously in previous albums. But then I think like where there could be like a sort of breakdown or something heavier, it kind of goes into this sort of like this another echoey sort of section, and it kind of like takes away the drive from the song a little bit.
Yeah.
But that synth that goes on through the song is really catchy. So I like it for that. Dead Butterflies. No, Impermanence. Sorry.
Impermanence. Yeah.
Yeah, Impermanence.
I was so disappointed with Impermanence. You have Winston McCool and Sam Carter together, and it's just a bang average track to me.
Yeah,
really.
I mean, it's like it feels like it's going to go.
I feel like I'm saying a whole lot of nothing with these criticisms I have, but at the end of the day, it's like you either like a track or you don't. It doesn't click with you. This just didn't click with me.
Yeah, it just seems like they got something going for one part of the song, and then it goes into like this sort of radio friendly transition, and it just doesn't. I don't feel like it mixes well. Like the verse of Impermanence, has that sort of the screaming and the sort of originality to it, which I think. I will give credit to Dan on this album. I thought his drumming was quite impeccable on this album. He's got some good rhythmic sort of stuff going on. But then I just feel like the chorus itself is just lacking a bit of edge to it, But the breakdown with Winston I thought was pretty cool, because I thought Winston really offered something deeper there. What was next? It was Flight Without Feathers, was it? After that?
Hang on, sorry.
It's all right.
Yes, it was Flight Without Feathers. Yeah.
There's not really much to say. It's just another transition to build up for the next track. So there's 3 instrumentally softer tracks on the album, and then the rest are like 12 songs, proper songs. So I'll skip that one because I don't really think much.
Don't have much to say about.
I don't really think much of transitions to begin with, but I understand why they're there to kind of space the album out. What was after that?
Little Wonder, which had Mike Kerr of Raw Blood on it.
This is probably the first song I can ever say from Architects, which is an absolute stinker for me. I can't stand it. It's just that. It's that lyric which goes, "I want to sing you a different song," and I'm like, no.
Well, we want to listen to a different song.
I don't know, and it just like the redeeming factor from the song is the breakdown, but in an album I don't just want the breakdowns to be the redeeming factors,
Roddy points out felt the same about a few songs. I would like the verse, but the bridge would lose him.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Next was Libertine, wasn't it?
Now it was Animals next.
Animals,
which we kind of covered. We come now to my favourite run of tracks on the album. So Animals, then Libertine, then Goliath.
Right, Libertine. Yes, this is what I'm talking about. It's got that. It's got that nice riff, like the down,
yes.
which you get from like sort of.
That was a riff that I could sink my teeth into.
Yeah, it brings me back to like those sort of Linkin Park days, like Hybrid Theory and stuff, or Meteora, and I just had some nice nostalgia there, and but it felt like Architects, and yeah. It's a solid track for me, and one of my favorite ones.
I think so. Then Goliath with Simon Neil from Biffy Clyro. I think this is probably my favourite track on the record.
I love the licks that come in during the intro when it's like da 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 da. Like that's why
I don't know whether it was because I was listening to a lot of Biffy in lead up to listening to this. Like I was listening to. What's the name of that? The Vertigo of Bliss a lot. So like the early Biffy, where Simon still had his, a lot of screaming in his, I think he excels on this song.
Oh yeah, like this from any feature song. This is the best one in my opinion. It's just got a strong riff. It doesn't have it just has everything that you want to
it's a good energy
it's got a good energy to it. Yeah.
Roddy says, for the one that's harder to swallow lyric, I look at my computer and said, "Excuse me." I love that.
Yeah.
Then we come to Demigod.
Demigods, it sort of quietens down the album. I don't think there's a lot to it. I know, average track for me, but not as cheesy as Little Wonders.
Then Meteor, which I think we've probably covered. Really, it's
One of the more weaker tracks.
I don't see any single. I didn't see any single potential in it at all.
No,
And then the fact that they released that as the last single was kind of no.
I think Epitaph was probably behind it, but that's just
me. And then Dying is absolutely safe, which to its credit, you know what? It's funny you mention Epitaph. I'll get into it, but Dying is absolutely safe. I think was a decent outro track. To be fair,
I think what Debbie
it's funny you mention Epitaph because it's the same label as Teenage Wrist, and I actually feel like a lot of the tracks take their cues almost from the Teenage Wrist production side of it.
But Teenage Wrist fits it a lot more, I think.
Yes, it's I don't know, kind of a square peg in a round hole type deal.
Yeah, because when they were more independent with like UNFD and things like that, they were making like more of their own kind of stuff. But this stuff seems very formulaic to what you've already heard on the radio. You think the
label has had a hand in it, a little bit of it?
I don't know. I don't want to speculate too much.
Yeah, I don't want to speculate.
But
no, of course.
It's just funny that once they go to a new label, the sound changes significantly. Which I mean, what I'll give the album credit for is doing something different. I always, I'm not like one of these kinds of fans that go, oh my God, go back to your old stuff or whatever. I appreciate change and stuff like that.
Part of being an artist is, stylistic progression.
Yeah, and and for me that is, it has to. And to be honest,
like Architects, I again don't know much about them or their career, but they've had a bloody good run, haven't they, with their albums? I don't think any of them really are considered clunkers.
And I feel, I feel like this album is gonna still kick off. Like, there's plenty of people who enjoy it, and I appreciate that. At the same time, it just doesn't resonate with me as much, and I'm not gonna try and argue my taste with anyone because it's just my personal opinion.
I still want to, I want to go back and listen to the earlier stuff, to really kind of sort of see what I've been missing, really.
I would, if you're going to do that, I'd
if this album does anything, it makes me think, and there's, a few people that say, oh, they've got far better stuff. And I'm like, well, I better check it out,
Maybe we could make that a top, well, no, I don't want to dig into Architects too much by making
that
of course topic for next week. Like, it's not.
I think really, is there anything else you want to add?
No, I mean, I respect the band. They have so much talent, and I respect what they want to do.
It's probably more of a not for me type thing.
Yeah,
it's at the end of the day, it's I respect artists whenever they try and do a stylistic shift. It's it's very much a kind of gambit. When they try when any band tries a stylistic shift, and quite often it doesn't come off. This just didn't click with me.
And I appreciate for Sam for trying a different range with his vocals. As well.
Totally.
Like he's doing more cleans, and some people might not like that, but no, I didn't really have much of a problem with that.
We're only saying this to cushion the blow of the hate comments, the flood of hate comments we're going to get from Architects fans in the chat once we upload this to YouTube. But honestly, totally respect the band. Can see what they were trying to do. I just think it's an average album.
Yeah,
really.
So,
in summary, that's my summary of it. Anyway.
Yeah. So there we go. That's
that was a good debate, I think. On that.
Where we both agree.
What have we got next on the agenda?
So we've got the Europa League top 16, the Elimination Chamber, and then listen to this and Daft debates.
We could do. You have a thing about. We could do football, I think, now.
All right. Okay. So I came across something this week, and normally I don't look at TalkSport a lot because it's just most of the people calling are like overly angry and probably sitting on the toilet as they're talking, just going, "I hate my team." But this one really kind of raised some talk for like. Let me pitch a question. if your team was doing so bad that like they were in the Premier League and they got relegated down to League Two, let's say, would you go and support a different team?
No, I mean the thing with football is it's a life sentence for me.
Exactly, it's like
whoever you choose to support, you can't be a turncoat at the drop of a hat. You know, I'm a long-suffering Arsenal fan, right? But I cannot, in any good conscience, go and support somebody else if my team isn't doing very well.
Because what does that say about your character in that?
Exactly, it makes you seem really fickle.
Yeah.
You know?
So this guy came on to TalkSport.
Oh God.
Yeah.
All the great love stories begin with that sentence, don't they?
Yeah.
This guy came on to TalkSport.
Yeah. Bear with me 1 second, because Chrome is doing its usual. Right, there we go. Cool. Yeah. Right, so this guy came on to TalkSport, and he essentially was posed a question: if Jose stays, I'll support Arsenal. Now that's just like it's kind of a clickbait title in itself, because he was kind of like, he was asked the question, would he support Arsenal? Would he tell his kid to support Arsenal? But I want you to listen and give your own sort of judgment.
Bloody hell, I didn't realise Goldstein's hair had got so long. Right, so when do you want me to play this?
Hello there.
On free, maybe?
Yeah, sure. Have you got the link up?
So 3, 2, 1, go. Yeah, I've got the link up.
Okay, cool. All right. So 3, 2, 1, go.
Let's quickly get Gary as a Spurs fan in. Hello, Gary.
Hi, Gaz. Hello there.
Hi, Gaz.
I'm on loudspeaker. Is that right? No.
Sounds good to me.
What a lad!
Boomer, trying to work a phone.
Why'd you ask?
Gaz, do what you want.
How do I press end call?
I've got 2 words. Mourinho out. What's wrong with Spurs?
He sounds like a typical Twitter fan.
They're gone stale. All this hype when we went top of the table in December. All this. I was never a Mourinho fan.
Well, just like when we were third a few years ago, and
top of the table in December. Yeah, forget that. It's just another season of woe. And my poor 13-year-old daughter now supports Spurs. And I said, you need to change your team.
How old is she, Gaz?
Could be bloody supporting. I don't know.
Nearly 13.
Gaz, get her to change her team. Is
No,
she with you now? Is she there?
No.
Okay.
What team? What team do you want her to support, Gaz?
Anyone but Spurs.
Go on. Okay, I'll be her. What's her name?
I'll be her.
I'll be Emma. Daddy Gaz, what team do you want me to support if I don't support Spurs?
West Ham.
West Ham?
Daddy, sure.
Yeah.
That's a London team.
Supporting Spurs and go and support West Ham.
What about Arsenal or Chelsea, Gaz?
He's trying
No, I'm not a big Chelsea fan. Sorry, man.
Let me ask you this.
So he wants them to support Arsenal, but not
Let me ask
Chelsea.
you this, Gaz, right? Knowing how you feel about Spurs, genuine question, right? And knowing the heartache that you think your nearly 13-year-old daughter could be going through over the next 5, 10, 15, 20 years of her life.
30, 40,
if she said to you,
60, 70,
if she said to
80, 90, 100.
If she said to you, yes or no, Dad, should I support Arsenal from now on? What would you say?
Oh, that's a tough one.
How is that a tough one?
My friend Fergus is a big Arsenal fan.
What would you say? Dad, I'll change my team, but only if it's Arsenal.
I'd say, yeah, go for it. I'd say go for it, yeah. We're always going to be
That's
a nearly
disgusting.
Guys, you're an absolute disgrace.
You're a disgrace.
That's
You are,
like
Gaz.
proper entrapment, isn't
You're an
it?
absolute
Yeah.
You're telling you to support Arsenal.
Gaz, you're a disgrace.
When did we last?
It's shameful. Gaz, it's
We
shameful.
last won something in 1991.
He's proper going for
Gaz,
the
it's
neck.
shameful. Why do you support Spurs?
2008.
Gaz,
2008.
Guys, why do you support Spurs? There's a reason. Why? Give me that reason. What was the influence?
That's the first team I ever went to see.
I mean, it's shameful, Gaz.
No.
Honestly,
Why? You're going to tell your daughter to support the enemy?
What kind of dad does that?
Chelsea's the enemy.
What kind of dad? You're the enemy, Gaz.
Arsenal's not the enemy. Arsenal's the same. North London.
No. Is she there now?
I don't say West London is white.
That's like a bloody American viewpoint,
I mean,
isn't it?
That's guys, you should
Same
be
area. Oh yeah,
You're
go.
ashamed,
It's
Gaz.
Tom Brady as a
You're
fan.
ashamed.
No.
You're telling your daughter to support Arsenal. Why don't you support them then?
Well, I think I might do. If Mourinho stays,
I didn't watch
If
this
he
bit.
signed a 5-year deal, would you support Arsenal?
if Mourinho signed a 5-year deal,
Yeah, would you support Arsenal?
oh, if Mourinho stays, that's Spurs. Spurs gone for me. I'll start supporting another club.
Wow. All right. Well, where'd you start with that? Really?
I know. Like it's the sacrilege of being a football supporter.
I get it, like how like I don't know. I have seen some bad times with Arsenal, right? And we're going through a bad patch at the moment. So I would never be that much of a turncoat that I'd want to just follow whichever team is supporting. But it raises a kind of an interesting ethical question, I guess, about supporting a team.
Like,
I don't know. What do you guys think in the chat? Like, surely he's just on a wind-up, potentially. I mean, it is TalkSport. He's probably an Arsenal fan conning him.
maybe he's just seen a result and then he goes into TalkSport because
I guess it raises a kind of interesting ethical question. Maybe guys in the chat, would you, like Jordan, would you ever support Man United? Like if City suddenly, and why wouldn't you?
Exactly.
Because I'm guessing the answer is going to be F no. Or whatever.
Like, my dad supports Man U. I never got the appeal of Man U.
Yeah, that's it. Have you told me why you decided to become a Spurs fan?
I think, like, growing up, I wasn't really much of a football fan to begin with, and I think, like, I just kind of saw Tottenham playing more games and stuff like that, and I was like, yeah, I'll pick this as my team. I didn't want to pick a team because of how much gold they get or how much silverware. I wanted to pick a team that I could ride out good and bad times with. And
I mean, that's a very noble thing to do because a lot of it drives you to the point of insanity.
Yeah,
following a team through good and bad times.
Yeah, and I idolize players like I love players like Kane and Bale, and then I got to love players like Son and go back and see all like the Berbatovs and thing.
Yeah, I get you. I think the point where we're at now, it made me realise just how much I took Arsenal's form under Wenger for granted. And for me, it was a lineage thing. Like it's passed down from my granddad to his two sons, my dad and my uncle, who then passed it on to me.
Yeah.
So really, it wasn't a choice,
Yeah. In addition to just what Robbie...
I mean, it could be worse. It could be a lot worse. I could be supporting I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm not even going to use an example because... but it's just really just... It's just so interesting to me how there are people out there that don't kind of respect the... If he wasn't on a wind-up, right, it's just interesting to me how there are actually people out there that are that fickle about it and that disrespectful of the values that following a club represents.
Yeah, like I'm not... Like, I commented on the video and said, fuck off, we don't want you.
I love it.
Like, I'll make a confession. Sometimes I've been...
That's interesting, Roddy, actually. There was a guy, Roddy says in the chat, there's a guy at school who switched from Rangers to Celtic.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Like, I had, people...
Bloody hell, that's like the worst kind of switch, isn't it? Because the Rangers-Celtic rivalry goes a lot deeper than just football, doesn't it?
Yeah, I remember other kids in my school, there was a lot of Liverpool supporters in my school. Like, just almost everybody was a Liverpool supporter. And one guy was an Arsenal supporter. And, you'd have people going, why do you like Arsenal? Why do you support Liverpool? Blah, blah, blah. It was like seemed like at the time Liverpool was the cool team to support and people thought that was the way to go.
Yeah.
Because I remember the amount of noise created when they won the Champions League in, was it 2005? Was astounding. Like Gerrard. Everyone had a Gerrard shirt. It was unreal. And there was me walking around with a fake, did I... No, I can't. I think I had a Man U shirt for my dad, I think.
It's interesting. Again, it raises an interesting question of how ethical it is, Jordan says, first I got into football going to City games with your mate when they were shite. Got lucky, they're now the best in the country. I mean, I commend you for that, dude.
Yeah.
If City did a bury and ceased to just exist, I'd probably support York City, who are the local team, but they're not even in the Football League. We'd never change allegiances to a rival club. It's weird, right? I was born in Luton, so technically I should be a Luton fan.
Mm-hmm.
But I can't stand Luton, both as a place and as a, team.
I don't think anyone can, to be honest. Not even people from Luton.
It's weird. I just can't foresee. I like to see how Woking are doing on occasion, because that's who my cousin supports, because they grew up around that area.
Yeah.
And I like to see how Barnet are doing, because that's where my dad grew up.
I may.
But I don't really support either of those two teams.
Really. Like I may support Spurs,
but further that I support Arsenal.
Yeah. I may support Spurs, but like I have a soft spot. Like a good mate of mine is a Liverpool fan, so I have a slight soft spot for Liverpool, and then I have a soft spot for like Southampton as well. I just I think they
we all have soft spots for the teams.
Yeah, you're allowed to have soft spots, and even Cardiff.
Even the airport is shut. Yes, it is, Murray.
Cardiff.
That's the only reason. That's the only reason people ever go to Luton, is to get out of Luton.
And this is the thing. Like I live in Cardiff. So many Cardiff City fans around. If this guy is that mad that he wants to change support to another club because Spurs are doing bad, how would he fare off as a Cardiff City fan? Honestly,
well, why didn't you support Cardiff then? It raises an interesting question.
Do you know, I didn't know they existed when I was a kid. I was one of those naive kids who thought only the Premier League was the team.
Well, I mean, I guess. I mean, you're wearing the shirt. I guess rugby is more of a national sport in Wales than football is, really.
When I was growing up, I did have a lot of Osprey shirts. So like, I do still support Ospreys. I think. I've been seeing a lot of Blues games and kind of like being like, oh, you should support, you should be cheering for Blues and stuff because you live in Cardiff. But I'm like, no, I've always grown up with Osprey shirts, so I can't really do that because they're a rival team in a sense.
You have to have principles,
exactly.
If you choose to follow a football team, and I feel like that geezer on the phone really doesn't have any principles or morals.
Yeah, it
comes with the territory of supporting a team.
It's like what are you going to do when the chips are down? You're just going to fuck off somewhere else. Are you? Is that?
Yeah, I know. I don't agree with that at all. There have been times where I've been so despondent about Arsenal's form, but at the end of the day, it's kind of you have to stick with it because the good. It's kind of a FOMO thing almost.
Yeah. And like my principles, my rival team may be Arsenal, but like say a player from Arsenal gets badly injured and they're out for a season, I won't start laughing at them. That's part of my principle as well, because they've physically hurt themselves.
I'll hold my hands up. I've the Hull City final in 2014 FA Cup final when we were 2-0 down to Hull City inside of 15 minutes. I've walked off, and it was because I care so much about Arsenal, and they've let me down so many times. Yeah, to that point.
You gotta care about yourself. It wasn't.
In my eyes, it wasn't a fickle thing. It was more I just hate seeing us suffer. Of course we went back to win.
I'm not gonna replicate that scene in Clockwork Orange when he's forced to look at the screen.
Yeah, I know, right? It can be really painful, but you have to stick with it, really.
Exactly.
I guess, at the end of the day.
Yeah. And, what happens when you go support another club and they find out that you used to support the rival club? They're going to be like, what makes you think that you deserve to be here? So that's why I feel like if you supported a team from day one when you were properly into football, then, yeah, people will accept you for it. And even like, as a Spurs fan, I see Spurs fans arguing with each other left, right, and centre as like it's Jose's fault or no, it's the club's fault. It's the players' fault.
Like how much I hate Arsenal fan TV, right?
Yeah,
I think it's been well documented at this point. I think they're a bunch of idiots.
It's a reality show, isn't it?
But they have every right to, they go to all the games home and away. You can't really fault that, really, unfortunately. They're proper, a lot of the times when they're super angry, it's because they care,
Exactly. That's his admiration for it. Even if they don't expel it, possibly
even
in the most
even if they
logical
kind
way.
of put things across in like a really weird and contrived way to get clicks, they're still, have every right to complain as much as everyone else.
Yeah, like you're allowed to, if you celebrate your team winning, you're allowed to take your shirt off and do a windmill, like a Newport windmill,
Newport helicopter,
helicopter. But don't the England World Cup, for example. All of those poor ambulances, that just don't. Or I remember when Spurs lost 7-2 to Bayern in the Champions League. I'll bring it up now because it has a point with it. There was a big fight that was going on after the game, and I would not be a part of that.
No. I mean, I'm the most self-deprecating guy when it comes to supporting Arsenal because I know that we're crap at the moment, right? And I'll freely admit it. It's another thing when people kind of. They can dish it out, but they can't take it about their club, that kind of winds me up slightly.
Yeah.
It's, again, I don't know, that's probably a topic for another day, really. But in summary, I don't know, just don't be like that guy.
Don't be that guy. Yeah, exactly.
If he isn't on the wind up and he's genuinely saying stuff like that. So
yeah,
there you go.
All right.
Should we move on to? What should we move on to now?
We've got half an hour left, so we could probably listen to this and.
Yeah, mate. I guess we could briefly cover like the Europa League.
Oh yeah, sure. Since it ties in,
and maybe touch on the Elimination Chamber as well.
Yeah, it was just mainly the shock that I wanted to touch on from that, but yeah, top 16.
I mentioned about Arsenal putting me through the ringer. My God, they put me through the ringer against Benfica.
I know. I was just sitting there going, "Yes, go Jan, Super Jan."
and bloody. Vertonghen was playing for him as well. Funny enough.
Yeah.
Bloody Ceballos. My God, like, what has he actually contributed since he joined us?
Yeah.
Really? Well, I read that he had like 1 assist last season, in the whole of last season.
Yeah. Now I'm not going to big Spurs up too much because I know like a 9-1 aggregate is. Bloody impressive.
Pretty. We
haven't had much of that yet, like with games. Except I think was it 8-0?
Pretty comprehensive. That's the word I was looking for.
But that is showing just how good Gareth Bale can be, just how good Dele can be.
Oh yeah, I bet you're well happy with his resurgence, I guess you can call it.
Yeah, it's just all up to now. Does Jose start him now, or does he continue to say, "Oh, he needs more game time elsewhere"? Blah blah blah. And then it comes to the end of the season, and his loan doesn't continue. But it's a waste for him. Same with Dele. Like, is it just gonna encourage Dele to go off to PSG because that's where he'd most likely go if anywhere because he'd want to be back with Poch probably. But I think. Like, we've got some... The thing is, we had an excuse last season of we don't have enough squad depth. Now, it's more the blame is mainly on the defence. So, when it comes to our attacking play, the players apparently were complaining that Jose's style is less focused on attack and more on defence. But when you look at that defence, you're like, well, no fucking wonder. You guys need to sharpen up.
Yeah. Well, I don't know what our problem is with it. It's kind of that was such a stupid header, that Ceballos. In fairness, that free kick was pretty unstoppable, I mean, but the bloody header that Ceballos did,
Yeah, I'm quite glad I'm not a Chelsea supporter at the moment because the amount of money they spent and they're just not getting the best out of Werner and.
Well, I mean, they're since Tuchel came on board, they've been unbeaten, so.
Yeah,
got to credit them for that.
I think
I don't know what he's doing differently. If it's a confidence thing, but it's
he has a very progressive style of.
Do you know that I went for a walk with my dad yesterday, and he informed me that apparently we've signed Brentford's set piece coach, right? Free kick specialist or whatever he's called, free kick specialist, and we were joking during the last championship playoff final, how that Brentford take the worst free kicks I've ever seen.
Mm.
And we've just so happened to, and we were all joking like last year about this free kick specialist, like being, why is he a specialist if Brentford can't take free? And we've snapped him up. I mean, that's just typical Arsenal. Like, it's such a farce.
The thing is with Jose, like, if you watch the documentary, you see how much of the game he analyzes down to the very bone, and then after that, it's up to the players to see that through. And you can see that the players like just can't at the moment. They can do it against the Europa teams, no problem. But against the Premier League teams, it's different because the Premier League has a very different style of progressive play. Very quick pace.
Our season basically hinges on the Europa League now. We sacked off the league months ago, and we're probably going to finish mid-table, which is, I don't know, par for the course at this point. If Arteta doesn't win the Europa League, I think that's probably it for him.
Possibly, I think. Same for Jose as well. Like, there's already talks, like the two managers that Spurs have apparently been in contact with are Julian Nagelsmann from RB Leipzig, who's a young and manager who can offer quite a bit to the team, I feel. And because RB Leipzig probably don't have as much resources as Spurs, so maybe he'd be better there. And Brendan Rodgers, because he can make miracles happen with the options he's got.
I've just noticed, by the way, that John Stones has scored again to win the game for Man City today against West Ham United.
Oh, wow.
I can't believe how much on a roll he is.
I know, because he was on the bench like a lot last season, wasn't he? And then
he was just always injured, perpetually injured.
Yeah, and
I have a slight connection to John Stones. He's my cousin's cousin.
Yeah,
and so I always like to check on how he's doing.
And Ruben Diaz is arguably the best defender in the league at the moment. The guy is just almost unstoppable. Anyone want Steve Bruce? No, you're all right, mate.
We're all right, Murray, man. Thank you.
So yeah, I'd rather. Is it sinful to say I'd rather Scott Parker?
I bet Newcastle fans are pining for Rafa to come back. I tell you.
Oh, I know, like Newcastle. Like, it's weird between Newcastle and Chelsea. I don't know who sacks off managers more.
It's interesting, isn't it? Yeah, just I guess in terms of the Europa League, it's just it's we have to go for it.
Yeah,
we really have to go for it,
and we
cannot. We were so close to going out, and I don't think the players fully realised just how integral the Europa League is to our season. Until the way it went the way it went. I guess.
We've got one more.
God, Willian got a bloody assist. I mean, the end is nigh. You know what I mean?
Yeah, there we go.
Willian actually contributed something in a football match for us.
The last thing I was going to say was I'm planning a bit of a TikTok series with, like, the IT crowds. Did you see that ludicrous display last night? I'm doing it with all the Premier League team ones. So I've got one for Arsenal. Like, did you see that ludicrous display last night? What was Arteta thinking starting Bellerin? The thing with Arsenal is they need a new defence. Aston Villa, like, did you see that ludicrous display last night? What is Smith thinking picking Barkley all the time? The thing is with Villa is they need to spend more in the summer.
Yeah, I got you. I look forward to that, man.
Just need some more ideas, I think, because I'm not.
So, I mean, what's your views on the last 16? Who have you got? You got Zagreb, right?
Yeah,
you've got Olympiacos again. We always get Olympiacos. It's obscene.
Take it from me, from us who faced them in the Champions League last season. Don't take them lightly. Definitely don't.
Oh no. We got knocked out by them last season in the Europa League.
Yeah, so
it's annoying because we were on quite a good run of form under Arteta at that point, and that just basically collapsed the whole thing.
Yeah,
that loss, because it was and it was in the last minute as well on away goals.
Yeah,
that was such an embarrassing loss, and I just really don't want that to happen again.
I was worried about seeing Leicester still in it, but I'm guessing they're more focused on the Premier League at the moment because they're having a great run in it.
weirdly, in a way, it's 2 home fixtures because we actually played Benfica in Athens. So, who knows how that's going to work?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So yeah, that is our roundup of the football.
Football.
So
should we cover Elimination Chamber briefly? I guess.
Yeah.
Because I actually quite enjoyed watching the Royal Rumble.
But I always have a like. I remember when I was younger, and a friend of mine gave me like the New Year's Revolution 2005 cassette. I remember, and it was like it because of that. It was like one of my favorite pay-per-views that holds a special place in my heart. Like that was the one where I think was it Randy Orton? No, not Randy Orton. Triple H won the Elimination Chamber and won the heavyweight championship off Randy Orton, and I think. Wasn't Kane? I think he was in a feud with Snitsky. That was the one. It wasn't my fault.
It wasn't my fault.
I can't believe that became his theme.
I actually, I got all hands up. Say I didn't actually watch Elimination Chamber. I'll probably go back and watch it, but I've seen the results and everything and how the results panned out.
Yeah, but the biggest thing of everyone was talking about was the cash in from the Miz on Drew McIntyre.
That is, I can't believe that, really. I know they've been kind of building the Miz up, but they've had this thing with Bad Bunny, thrown into the mix.
I think it just, the Miz, I think his last championship run, he wasn't as over as he is now. Like in the last few years, he has been like...
Oh, he's got super over. So I feel like now is definitely the right time for it, but it's weird how they panned it out. They've made it seem very unassuming.
Like I think it's just his promo skills have just been out there, and I think what really helped him was that promo backstage, on Talking Smack when he talked to Daniel Bryan, and I think after that people are like, we want the Miz to main event. This is the Miz that we know we can have. So. We've got that. Then we've got
Matt Riddle winning the US Championship. It looks like strapping a rocket to his ass.
Yeah, I don't know what they're going for with the WrestleMania in terms of the Universal Championship. Maybe it's going to be a triple threat between Bryan, Kevin Owens, and Roman Reigns. Maybe.
For Daniel Bryan, that was weird, wasn't it? Like he won the Elimination Chamber for an immediate Universal Championship match. And then got squashed pretty much by Roman Reigns.
Yeah, because he injured they did a fake leg injury, didn't? I don't want to say the word fake. Kayfabe injury in the in the match that pretty much added to the fact that Roman Reigns just beat him down.
But I don't know. Like, there's a fine line between underdog and just making a bit of a fool out of him. It's always Daniel Bryan always seems to be the sort of gets the short end of the stick when it comes to that.
Yeah,
it's weird.
We also got Matt.
They tease it and then they always pull it away.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Like, and if he does have a long run, it's when he's a heel. So as a babyface, he doesn't get the best runs.
Super babyface, but he never gets booked correctly. It's weird. To me.
Yeah, Vince is the kind of guy that he has to.
I know. Roman Reigns. He's the hot ticket at the moment and everything.
Yeah, but eventually people get tired of him, even as a heel. But what they're doing with him at the moment is smart.
They need to. With the babyface Roman Reigns, obviously the problem was that they were. It was overexposure.
I think so. Yeah.
They need to sort of. Be a bit more frugal with it, potentially.
Yeah, I'd definitely say that. Then we've got.
I got to say, Edge versus Roman looks like a good prospect.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh yeah, Roman Reigns. Sorry, why did I say Kevin Owens?
I don't know if Edge is. I wish Edge was healed.
Yeah, I think
but you can't have a heel Roman Reigns doing his best heel work. And heel Edge together, obviously.
But I think he was still good. Like before he had to retire, he was still good as a babyface. I thought. He still had a bit of edge to him, as you will. Yeah. So It's just at the moment, I don't think he's doing much rather than just kicking ass, really, and looking in the best shape of his life at his age as well. Then we got Riddle defeating Bobby Lashley. Good on him, because Riddle has just got a hell of a lot more talent than Lashley, in my opinion. I love Matt Riddle.
It's interesting that there's only one women's match on the card.
Yeah, it was Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler defeating Bianca Belair and Sasha Banks. So I don't know if she injured her hole again. I'm not too sure. But
no, I can't believe Nia Jax is still there. Honestly,
I can't either. I've been watching a lot of like wrestling lists at the moment, and one of them was like, list of wrestlers who keep hurting people, and Nia Jax was in that list. Ryback was in there, and yeah. I don't understand. I suppose it's more for Shayna than Nia.
Yeah, it's interesting.
But yeah, a bit of a quick roundup. Anything else you want to
add? Not really. Just Mania is going to be interesting. Like Jordan said, it might be a triple threat between Roman, Edge, and Bryan. I wouldn't mind watching that. To be fair.
All right. Okay.
And God knows what they're going to do with the Miz and Drew McIntyre. It's a shame that they took the belt off Drew before Mania.
Yeah,
he's not going into Mania as champion.
But at the same time, Miz,
he's had it for a while, hasn't he, Drew?
Yeah, at the same time, Miz, you could argue that Miz deserves to go into Mania as champion as well.
The booking was a bit weird, the whole Bad Bunny thing to throw it all off. I'm hoping it's not going to be a Bad Bunny Miz championship match. That'd be weird. Okay, so should we get on to listen to this then?
Absolutely. So, Rob, are you ready for more deathcore spraying?
More deathcore.
You like deathcore? Right, well, I got the perfect thing for you. So the band is known as Brand of Sacrifice, and they've got some awesome artwork to back themselves up. They're a Canadian deathcore wrecking crew, as described by Outburn.com. So they're building up to, I believe, is it going to be a new album or something along those lines?
Lifeblood, it's called.
Lifeblood, that's the one. So they've released... How many albums? How many singles have they released so far?
There's 4 at the moment. There's Demon King, Animal, Altered Eyes, and Lifeblood.
Yeah. So the latest one, I'll just get straight into it. Essentially, Lifeblood. Bear with me a second. So I think they've got a bit of a more epic kind of take on.
It's interesting you didn't bring them up before, because Bees is all over this lot. He thinks this lot are like the future of deathcore.
Possibly, I don't know. I mean, there's quite a lot in tank for the future of deathcore in my mind. They were ones that I discovered a bit later on, so that's probably why.
They've got a very kind of Japanese anime focused take on their lyrics, right? That's their whole kind of modus operandi. Yeah.
So they're going through like all the hooks and things with this with Lifeblood, and they're gonna kick it off. And it's just exciting to see what, in a sense, altered. Sorry, I'm trying to find it on Spotify. Why is it not here?
Yeah, I can tell you're padding here. Roddy says in the chat his pre-order of the new album is coming with a Pokemon / Smash Bros t-shirt they've done.
Nice.
Wow.
Okay. Awesome. Can't fault that at all.
Nah.
So the 4th single that they released only this week is Altered Eyes. So let's kick right into it.
Let's just get right into it. Yeah.
Yeah. So you got it queued up?
Yep.
Okay. So 3, 2, 1, go. Oh, hang on. Sorry. Play it again. I clicked on the actual album artwork. This is going so well, isn't it? Sorry, have you got it back to the beginning?
So, pro streamers, everyone. Right. Are you ready now?
Yeah, I'm ready now. Right, cool. Sorry, guys. 3.
Are you on the level? Right.
3, 2, 1, go.
It's an interesting start opening. Very
Sounds like part of a movie, doesn't it?
Industrial and cold. It's kind of, yeah, movie soundtrack right. That was a nice opening riff.
I love the tone of that guitar in the intro as well.
Yeah, very good guitar sound.
I prefer when deathcore has more like technical elements to it.
That kind of interesting.
I love it. I
like the sparse part here. Gives it room to. I like the dynamics involved in this song so far. Jeez.
Just
I like that chunky riffage there.
It doesn't pull any punches, does it?
Jeez. That's disgusting. Whoa.
I love this kind of snare sound as well. It sounds like someone is being slammed to the mat. And there's the lead in the background as well. I love that. Sounds new metal, doesn't it?
Oh man. This is like super progressive, isn't it? For deathcore, isn't it? Lots of very disparate elements kind of coming together.
Yeah, where you get bands like Fit for an Autopsy are a bit more rhythmic or groovy.
Yeah.
Well, there we go. So,
there we go.
Probably one of the heaviest songs that we've put on. Listen to
yeah,
this.
Absolutely.
Is this the new Architects? Is that what you're asking, Tim?
Yeah, no, that was not the new Architects. That was Brand of Sacrifice with Altered Eyes. Yeah, I mean, it's still a vocal style that I struggle with. You know, the kind of super low growls and the super high kind of screams.
Yeah,
I still struggle with that kind of vocal style, but musically, I thought it was super like all these disparate elements kind of galvanizing together. You know, from the cold harshness of the opening, you know, elements of industrial in there, some kind of weird symphonic stuff, you know, going on, and like it was like really, I thought it was super progressive sounding for a deathcore band, you know.
Absolutely, it just seems. Oh, let's add that to the count. It's is like, you know, actions speak louder than words, and this is a band that still wants to prove themselves and just push themselves into the main light of the genre of death metal, and you know, it's a strong push.
It's very groove orientated as well. You know, there's lots of very kind of stompy riffs going on, but in a kind of very technical groove orientated way.
Yeah, I love the fact that more deathcore is getting more technical. I feel like it branches out the genre itself more, and that, you know, bands like this are really like pushing the envelope for that. So I've got seriously strong hopes, and with 4 singles in, and you know, with my change of perspective, with like, if the singles are this powerful, then the album's just going to be so
a lot of people got some high hopes, you know.
Yeah, exactly.
From the higher ups have got some high hopes for this band's new record. So
yeah, so we'll probably see it.
I feel like it could end up in your end of year list for sure.
Quite possibly, we'll see. Yeah.
All right. Well, there we go. So yeah, good stuff.
Brand of Sacrifice with Altered Eyes from their upcoming album Lifeblood. Finished on a high.
Good stuff. Right. So KB, my band for you. This is a band called Timelost. Right? And I discovered this band through the Mosh Talks Discord. Don't know much about them. Essentially, if you like bands like Nothing, Teenage Wrist, very shoegazy kind of stuff, you know. Excuse me. Elements of a basement in there, you know.
Yeah.
This is from their new album, which is called, well, it's more of an EP. There's only like 5 tracks on it, called Gushing Interest. 6 tracks, sorry. There's a cover of the Psychedelic Furs tacked on the end.
Have I got the right band? Can you see my screen? Because I've got a completely different band here, I feel like.
No, that's not it. It's all one word.
Ah, I see. Right.
Yeah.
I'll correct that then. It's good that.
There we go. That's the one. Yeah, this song is called Alone. Hang on.
Alone, Clean and Slow.
Yeah, it's Alone, Clean and Slow. Yeah, I thought this was a kind of standout track from it. I'm just trying to find out more information about this band.
Timelost featuring the Ford.
They're from Pennsylvania, Philadelphia to be precise.
Mm-hmm.
They have a Bandcamp. Let me just see if I can find an about section on their Facebook.
So if you compare them to like how long have they been going for? Looks like they've been going. They haven't been going long. Like their first demo, as far as Spotify goes, is 2018, and then
they're on Church Road Records. There we go. So another Church Road Records, obviously Svalbard.
There we go. Okay, so strong already, and then their only album to date it was in 2019. Don't Remember Me for This. So
here we go. So here's a little bit of a skinny on this band. Born out of frustration and friendship, Timelost is a euphoric and genre bending rock project that was started in the summer of 2017 by Shane Handel and Gregcellent Kshalpa. Sorry if I'm pronouncing that badly. Self-proclaimed as grunge gays. See, I'm liking this already.
Interesting.
Their unique sound is rooted in the alternative experiments of the early 90s and propelled forward through decades of innovation, gaining force along the way. Although initially a file-sharing effort from 1,000 miles apart, Timelost has evolved into a dedicated project swarming with resonant vocal melodies, devastating guitar riffs, and a driving rhythm section. Based in Philadelphia, 2 more members were added and their debut album was released worldwide in the fall of 2019. The band has stayed busy finishing up their follow-up album, Gushing Interest. Again, album, 6 tracks. I don't know if that constitutes a full album in my eyes, but even in a time of major uncertainty, these bands teamed up with Church Road Records for a worldwide release of their new album for February 2021. Now only time will tell when they will be able to hit the road and start performing live again. Wear a mask. Well, there you go. That's all I really know about them, really. Nothing more to say. This is the 3rd track from Gushing Interest. And you got it queued up, KB?
I have, and I'm on the play button this time.
Cool, right.
Not the artwork.
So, on go then. So 3, 2, 1, go.
Instantly liked.
Ha!
I like this kind of sound. It's nice when I'm washing my body in the shower. It's just so hypnotizing.
It is, yeah. It's interesting what the rhythm section are doing. It's very kind of straightforward, you know? But the guitars give it that kind of ambient feel.
Yeah.
Again, it's that kind of slackery quality with the vocals that I'm quite like.
I think the mix is quite on point here, if I may say so.
I like the kind of layering of the arpeggiated stuff and then that kind of slidey up and down run that they were doing with the lead.
Yeah. Get your lighters in the airs, ladies and gents. Can we have a shout once in the chat?
Is that your Bees impression?
Yeah, but my voice is... I've got a bit of a sore throat. It's probably from trying to get all that stuff right yesterday when singing Hand of Blood.
This bit in particular, I think, is very kind of has that shoegazy basement element, you know, the way the vocals are kind of really sitting in the back.
I'd rather play this at a party than Foo Fighters' new album.
That vocal roll in the hook, you know, that's the hook, you know, for me. The end of the track. Hey Kieran, how's it going?
You can just get into it really easily.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna check out more of this band. Shoegaze is like the way forward for rock, isn't it, at the moment?
I love it.
Bam.
So there we go. That was Alone, Clean and Slow by Timelost from their EP/album/ whatever you want to call it, Gushing Interest, which is out right now. What are your initial thoughts, KB, on that?
I just felt like if I was hyped up earlier, I'm still hyped up, but also relaxed and high at the same time. It's euphoria. I think is a good word to describe how that sounds. It's like ASMR in rock form.
It's interesting you say that shoegaze is the way forward in rock. You know, it's like I love this whole rejuvenation in that particular style of genre. You know, and how much it can be applied to already good genres and make them even better. You know?
Yeah, most definitely.
So clearly that had a very grunge kind of indie Lemonheads slacker motif going on, I felt.
Yeah.
but with some sort of all the ambience kind of weaved into it.
Yeah.
Thought it was quite effective, you know.
Yeah, and bloody hell, it's like I said, I'm gonna give shoegaze more of a exploration, I think.
So there we go. You're I'm trying to get you into shoegaze. You're trying to get me into deathcore. I love the sort of
Mission
opposite ends of the
accomplished.
spectrum, really,
Yeah.
of genres. So that wraps up the listen to this segment. Anyway, we're going to go on to our last segment of the podcast, which is Daft Debates.
Hey.
And it's one that I put forward after we finished recording the last podcast.
Yeah.
In fact, and it was something that came up during one of my dinner table discussions with my family. And the topic this week is socks with sandals. Yay or nay?
Right. If I have to argue for it, kill me. All right. So, shall I? Do you want to? I've got a coin here. Do you want to call?
Yeah, go on then. I'll go for tails.
Okay. Are you for or against it?
Against, absolutely against.
Okay. So if you call it right, you're against it. If not, then you're for it. Okay. Tails. Heads.
Oh, bugger.
Oh, dear. Good luck. Right, ladies and gents. Socks with sandals. In just one sentence, if you need to wear socks to keep your feet warm, just wear fucking shoes. Okay? Why do sandals need to be a part of it? Sandals is to keep your feet fresh. Whereas socks with sandals just defeats that purpose entirely. It's like...
Oh, no. I'm meant to defend this.
Would you, unless you were a samurai, would you wear socks with flip-flops? Would you wear a bloody sumo wrestling pants under your thong? No, you probably wouldn't. You'd go bareback. 90% of it.
Okay, all right. This is the biggest devil's advocate I've ever had to do. I guess the logic is if you're I don't know, if you're on a beach or something and you don't want to get sand between the crevices of your toes. I don't fucking know. I
Bring a bucket of water to the beach to wash it off. But
it's an old person thing, isn't it? Socks with sandals.
It's a weirdo person thing. Yeah. It's a weirdo thing.
I don't know. I guess they think it's stylish.
I feel like if
I don't know. I don't think there's any practical use for it, really.
Let's say if someone came into Dragon's Den and said, "Hey, tired of your feet being warm all the time when you're going outside in the blazing heat, even though it rains all the time in Britain. Here we've got these shoes that allow your feet to breathe." And as soon as they say, "Don't worry, you can also wear socks with them," the dragons would just go, "I'm out."
Oh my god. Kieran, wearing socks and sandals by choice is big dick energy, he says.
Well, you know what they say about people with big dick... Oh, no, that didn't go right. Well, at least without socks, you can show people how big your feet are, and you know what people say about people with big feet.
What is this conversation? Oh, my God.
Hey, you selected it.
Yeah, I know. I'm really trying desperately to think of a good thing to say about
this is the
socks
beauty
and
of this
sandals.
segment. It's like, if you have to argue for it, like, what can you say? What is the argument for socks with sandals? Like, and then I have to kind of, I don't know, have I got any arguments for? Let's go out the
No, I do have one thing, right?
All right.
Actually. People with ill-fitting shoes, I guess, and the fact that there's space between, like, you're not wearing anything to cushion the sort of the kind of friction between your foot and your sandals.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess socks can help with preventing from like, I don't know, like rashes or bruising, I guess. You know, your feet are quite exposed when you wear sandals. So adding socks adds that layer of protection, I guess.
I suppose. I guess it just goes back to my point.
Yeah, and as
just wear
Kieran points out, feet are disgusting to look at.
Just,
unless you're Quentin Tarantino.
Just wear fucking trainers. if they're that,
I have no idea. You're
problem.
right. You just need to cut out the middleman. Just wear actual shoes. But then again, if you're on a beach or a place with a lot of sand, you probably don't want to wear.
Plus, there are sandals that you can get that don't have the strap at the back. They're free at the back of the heel, but then they just have the straps
with
over
sandals.
your feet.
The sand is easy to kind of get to dispose of, I guess.
Yeah.
Unlike when you're wearing trainers and it gets all within the crevices of your trainers. And it's hard to get rid of.
Depends how.
That's why people wear sandals, right, on the beach.
I suppose
I guess wearing socks as well, kind of. I don't know. It's probably just an extra layer of protection, I guess.
I suppose it's easier to take off your sandals if you've got no socks on when you're gonna dive headfirst into the ocean of the beach, maybe sea, but I like saying ocean. I don't know who won. Let's.
Well, again, I think you. How am I meant to defend socks with sandals? God's sake.
Oh, no. I was going to put up a poll, but it's not letting me. Oh, well.
No, I think pretty much no one likes socks with sandals.
Yeah, but who made the best argument? Put all your bias aside and...
I guess they're not hygienic, really.
Socks with sandals.
Bare feet and sandals. So I guess... And socks, absorb all the moisture and, I hate to use that word, but...
So what you're saying is they're good if you've got athlete's foot.
Well, it's sort of... it's care for your feet and everything. And to make sure they're not disgustingly sweaty, I guess.
Mm.
And out exposed,
It's a fucking disgrace.
No, I'm in your camp with it.
You can't admit that, debate. All right. Yeah. Well,
anyway, so that was episode 28. What a weird ending of the Key Hard podcast. Thank you everyone for tuning in. Honestly.
Yeah, it's been a pleasure. And
pretty much I was on autopilot for most of that, and I'm still kind of probably still a bit drunk from last night. So.
Nah, it's all good. I mean, that's why it's two of us. We're allowed to. We can keep it flowing
it flowing. Yeah, I'm glad this felt like a very flowing podcast, which is good.
like.
So, KB, where can we find you?
So you can find me on YouTube, both Kieran Benji and KB Cook. But as Kieran Benji alone, you can find me on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. Twitter is mainly where I not necessarily air my dirty laundry, but I just talk about things and maybe share things and stuff. Instagram, maybe I'll share life documentations or anything along those lines, maybe some funny image from time to time. And Facebook is for business, it's just I'm active on different places.
So with me, Rob V93 on Twitch, I do covers. I've recently hit 50 subscribers, which is bloody amazing.
Congrats,
I can't thank you all enough who have subscribed to me. I've also, tomorrow is a sub's choice, actually. So I'm going to put up a poll in my Discord for what you want to see me do, whether it be Among Us or Jackbox or a start of a new musician retrospective stream. Loads of stuff I can think of.
Mm-hmm.
I've also on Instagram, Rob Veryard, one word. VRYRD, and I do covers on there mainly.
Yeah.
And on Twitter, RobV93, although I don't really use it, and Rob Veryard Music on Facebook.
All right.
Which
awesome.
is a sort of conduit to all my music projects, and you can find my SoundCloud account, access that from there. And there we go. Yeah, this is a good one, I think.
Yeah,
KB.
Definitely.
Lots of talking going on.
Yeah, so what we've got next in terms of my streams, I'm going to do Jackbox again on Wednesday because those usually go down pretty well. But we are because of some mishaps on Wednesday, it is going to be Twitch only. Like, you have to have a verified Twitch account in order to join. So it means, like, if you do break the rules, then we know who you are and, you know, either give you a warning or a ban. Most likely a ban, because most of the problems we have are from racism and things like that. But never mind that. It's a whole load of fun. So I'll be setting up the voice chat in my Discord as well, if you want to get involved in that sense and get talking to us lovely lads. And then for the first time, I'm going to be doing a music stream, doing vocal covers of Bullet for My Valentine's, the Poison album, which I've been wanting to do for a long time. So I think that's a good starting point. So we'll see how that goes. Yeah. Keep in mind, it's the first one, so there might be problems.
Like we said at the beginning of this podcast, we're going to raid our friend Rosie Droid.
Yes.
aka Laura. She is doing a 12-hour charity stream for a charity called Special Effect, which is a UK-based charity which uses video games and technology to enhance the quality of life of people with disabilities. Mm-hmm. So, for example, basically, I mean, you can find out what they do at www.specialeffect.org.uk. Mm-hmm. She has already raised £260, I believe, which is incredible. Really,
it's wonderful.
If you do wish to donate, it will be in her link, in one of the links in her channel as we go over. But essentially, it just improves the life of disabled. You know, it makes it specialized kind of gaming chairs and things to make sure, you know, their streams are as optimal as possible and things. Sound good charity, you know. And please do give if you can. This was a good one. I enjoyed this podcast a lot.
Yeah, no worries. All right, guys. Well, until next time, we'll be signing off, and we're going to... I've just got Rosie's thing on standby, so there you go. Ready to raid. And, guys. Wonderful. Wonderful stuff. Cheers, guys, for interacting.
It's a wonderful game.
And thank you for watching, guys, and until next time, lights out.